Whatever the rate of actual unemployment, the pace and fluidity of today's economy virtually guarantees that there will always be large numbers of people looking for work and large numbers of employers seeking qualified help. While the jobless are concentrated most heavily in urban industrial sectors, rural areas, where employers are scattered over vast distances, are also affected. Once, when America was less complex and the typical industry was confined to a small town or mill village, placing a worker in the right job was a relatively simple matter. But today, it's a different story. Finding the right person for the right job, and vice versa, can be a difficult task. Still, the technology for rapid, efficient job matching exists, here and now. You might even say it's ready and waiting. This is Kansas City, Missouri, located in the heart of America's Midwest and at the center of a labor market of 1.5 million people. This building, which opened in 1967, houses the Kansas City office of the Missouri State Employment Service. It is also a prototype for one of the most up-to-date computer job matching systems in the country, a system that daily uses the many capacities of the computer to further the capabilities of the staff in making placements. Naturally, all this didn't happen overnight. It took planning, training, and patience to get it all together. More importantly, it took a willingness on the part of the staff and administration of the Employment Service to discard outdated concepts and methods. A new tool was at hand, one that would help them serve the public in a much more efficient manner. The tool was a carefully thought-out computerized job matching system, which utilized an existing job bank maintained by the service. But the computer, the system, wasn't a simple tool. There was much to be learned before it could be used to maximum benefit. Hands that had once combed through seemingly endless files had to be trained in the workings of a computer terminal keyboard, a device by which information is given to and gotten from the computer. Also, a new vocabulary had to be learned, so staffers could communicate with the computer. This vocabulary was actually a standardized language that let the computer digest relevant information and feed back results in terms that would be understood by the user. Most importantly, it was necessary to rethink the total operation and workflow at the employment center so that the computer's advantages would best complement the efforts of interviewers and order takers. Increased productivity in a computer-assisted environment was the goal. When someone looking for work enters this placement office, the first stop is usually at this desk, where a receptionist checks to see if that individual is registered with the Employment Service. The device, which resembles a television set, is a cathode ray tube, or CRT, which electronically displays information being received or delivered by the computer. By keying in the job seeker's social security number and pressing the Enter key, the operator has asked the computer to search its memory and determine if the applicant is registered with the Employment Service. Within seconds, the computer responds that Lynn Michael is not registered with the service. Filling out an application is the next step. When the first portion of the application has been completed, the applicant will see an interviewer to finish the questionnaire in depth. Prior to this, she may avail herself of the Job Information Service. This operation is a result of mating the computer with the job bank. The computer updates the job bank on a daily basis, and microfiche copies of the job bank listings are then produced specifically for the Job Information Service. When the job seeker sits down with an interviewer for the first time, this whole process of matching the right person to the right job enters one of its most critical phases. For it is at this point that the applicant's job experience and qualifications are described, translated into certain word descriptors for entry into the computer. This descriptor vocabulary can profile the highly educated and experienced worker, as well as the high school dropout with little or no work experience.
Okay, I'm here to interview you today in terms of job possibilities. What were you looking for?
I'd rather stay in the sportswear department, the sales aspect. I've had experience in it since graduation. I'd rather just stay with it.
Sales in what? Sportswear specifically, or what did you have in mind?
Oh, not only sportswear, it would be in sporting goods, too. They combine them in the store I worked with last. It's much more interesting because you can see the clothes they wear plus the equipment they use at one place.
Were you essentially a clerk in this position, or did you have more responsibility than that?
I started out as a clerk, but later on, as I got a little more...
The interviewer's job is to pick out and enter the optimum data items so that the computer will make the best use of its search strategy program. In any computerized matching system, the ultimate relevance of matching results is closely geared to the accuracy and completeness of the information entered. Much like a manual system, without reliable data, the best of computerized systems will fall far short of expectations. The completed application card has been given to a data entry clerk who keys all the information into the computer. When the data on the application has been entered into the system, a placement interviewer can begin a search to see if there are any referral possibilities in the computer's updated job order file. It's worth a closer look to see just how this is done. The format on the screen is a function selection, nicknamed a menu by staffers who use it regularly. The dash is called a cursor and serves as a sort of electronic locator. The terminal operator moves it by pressing certain keys. In this instance, she positions it opposite the job matching inquiry line. When the enter key is pressed, on flashes the format for a search inquiry. What appears on the screen is actually a paperless form, and the interviewer commands the computer to fill in the blanks by entering the applicant's Social Security number. When all the data is displayed, the interviewer commands the computer to begin its search. Jobs for which the applicant qualifies are displayed on the screen via a job order index, with the jobs listed in order of ranking. The interviewer can call for a description of any job she wishes. This gives her all the information necessary to refer the applicant to the job. Back when the computer was searching its job order file, the interviewer, had she wished, could have called for a printout of the very same information displayed on the screen. This, then, in somewhat simplified form, is the way a computerized system is used to help the Employment Service find jobs for people. Had Lynn Michael gone to one of the branch offices of the State Employment Service, the same results would have been obtained, because these outlying offices are linked to the same data bank with the same equipment that's found in the downtown office. In fact, the Kansas City, Missouri office is linked by computer with the Employment Service offices in Kansas City, Kansas, across the Missouri River. This link-up is dictated by the proximity of the two municipalities, which share a common job market and labor pool. Computer-assisted placement isn't restricted to the sole function of finding jobs for applicants. It's a double-edged tool that's also doing a better, more efficient job for employers, too.
Hi, this is Bill Mcgregor at Tradewinds Aviation.
Good morning, Mr. McGregor. Can we help you?
Well, I run a small flying service over here at the airport. One of my instructors just gave me notice that he's going to be leaving in a couple of weeks.
I see. And what will your flight instructor position be doing?
Now, the man I'm looking for will also have to handle a charter flight once in a while in addition to instruction. So he must have a multi-engine land and CFI instrument rating. And I'd like him to have an absolute minimum of 1,000 hours.
Taking a job order from an employer is just as critical a step as interviewing an applicant. For once again, it is the accuracy and thoroughness of the information going into the computer that will directly affect the quality of any resulting job matches.
That's all the information we'll need, Mr. McGregor. We'll run your job requirements against our computer applicant file tonight and hope to have some qualified people for you to talk to in the morning. Thank you for calling.
That'd be great. I appreciate your help with this. Goodbye.
Job orders taken during the day are keyed into the job bank for processing overnight. This is called batch matching, since inquiries made to the computer are grouped or batched. Supplied with the information from Mr. McGregor's job order, the computer searches its memory for any applicants on file having qualifications matching those outlined by the manager of the flying service. When the computer has completed its search, it prints out the job description and a list of any qualified applicants for that particular job. This printout is delivered in the early morning hours to the placement office. At a time when most residents of the city are just sitting down to breakfast, some employment service staffers are at the office, reviewing printouts and contacting those applicants who have been matched by the computer to available jobs. The computer has found an applicant with the right combination of military and civilian flying experience to meet the requirements for the flight instructor's job. By 7:30 a.m., he's reached at home by an interviewer who has reviewed his qualifications and selected him from the list of eligible candidates. Although the technology exists for real-time or instantaneous employer-oriented matching too, the Kansas City Employment Service has found the overnight batch matching of employers' job orders an effective system. The National Manpower Administration has determined that there is no one matching system that would be cost-effective on a nationwide or even statewide basis. What works for one labor market might be inappropriate for another. The way to make computer matching both efficient and cost-effective is to tailor the program to meet the specific needs of the particular state or area. And this can be done. As noted earlier, implementation of a computerized job matching system is not an overnight process. Intensive personnel training at sessions such as this must be undertaken. A decision must be made as to what type of system best serves a state's needs, and a site for initial implementation must be selected. But it should be stressed that information and guidance based on experience is available for making these key decisions. In Albany, New York, the National Manpower Administration has established the Center for State Employment Security Manpower Systems. The center includes experienced employment service professionals and systems analysts who, along with regional and national office staff, are available to help states in developing the most effective total system. Making a success of computer job matching involves far more than merely automating a manual system. What it takes is a complete rethinking of the total employment service operation so that interviewers can make the best use of the computer in effecting placements. And placements are what it's all about. That's where these people come in. They're ready and waiting to help you implement your system. The system is ready and waiting to be put to use. And most importantly, the nation is ready and waiting.